Hi everyone, thanks for joining me once again. It's a Saturday morning, it's story time again. And as you can see, I've actually changed hotels. If you look behind me, yes, those walls are pink and they're driving me crazy. On a more serious note though, this is a great deal I've got on this hotel. I'm going to do a review on it. It's costing me 540 baht a night, which is about 14, 15 pound, maybe 16 US dollars. It's quite a large room. You'll hear it's a little bit echoey. Hopefully the lavender button mic here will take that echo down a little bit. Last week, apologies for last week because I put the stories out last week and there was little bit of a crack in there, which was annoying. I was in a dilemma because when I finished the stories, I just did a little listen, made sure everything came out. And I thought, do I release this? Do I upload this or do I record it again? It's so much work to record it and edit it. It takes a whole afternoon. I thought, no, I'm going to let it go. But I'll make sure it's rectified for next week. Now, I've been out to the local malls. I've bought various cables, changed microphone just in case there's a crack in the wire. I've done several tests and it all sounds good to go. So I'm hoping, fingers and toes crossed, by the end of this storytelling session, when I listen to it, there'll be no cracking or interference or anything like that, other than the air conditioning unit that you might be able to hear. But other than that, we're good to go. Okay, so the three stories this week, the first two are quite long. And I've finished off the third story. It's a very, very short story. But as the guy took the trouble to write it and send it in, I thought I'd tag it on and read it anyway. Okay, so let's get straight into these three stories. And we'll start with story one as always.
สวัสดีค่ะ
First, a little bit about me. I'm a 58-year-old American living in sunny California, east of the San Francisco Bay Area. Having been married and divorced 3 times before, reaching the age of 35, I've come to the realization that I'm not very good at selecting a lifelong partner and that I should not really worry about it too much, which has freed me from the shackles of others' opinions and opened my mind to fun encounters wherever they may be had. My last marriage ended in 2001, and since then I have dated from online apps, gone to strip clubs, joined a biker club, and lived the MC lifestyle, as well as experienced many of the legal cat houses in the US state of Nevada, like the Sagebrush Ranch, the Love Shack, the Bunny Ranch, and the Mustang Ranch. Also, I regularly partake of the local Asian massage spa locations surrounding the suburban hell I now reside in. Monga credentials aside, I will sum it up with the statement that Pattaya seems like a perfect fit for me. We will start this story in July of 2019. My wingman, who had recently divorced, let's call him Charlie, had heard that Thailand was a destination for our type of fun. So we bought airline tickets for the end of September same year. We also both began the typical YouTube research project, shifting focus between don't fall for these 20 scam videos to the distractions of the endless POV street walking videos where the cameraman walks up and down Beach Road or Walking Street or Soi 6, etc. We were like kids with a Christmas catalogue, hitting pause and calling out which random lady on screen caught our eye and struck our fancy. A third friend, who is a frequent visitor to Thailand, suggested we stay at the View Tele 6 in Pattaya. He showed us photographs and videos he had taken of his lavish marble-floored condo and ocean view balconies from his past stays. Plus, he put in a call to arrange our ground transportation from Bangkok to Pattaya with a beautiful young lady he knew. I also thought it might be a good idea to chat up a few ladies on the Thai Friendly app to mix things up and also to help pass the time at home until we could fly out. On Thai Friendly, I was fortunate enough to establish regular communication with 4 different ladies of different backgrounds. 1, a golf caddy from a resort north of Pattaya. 2, a hair salon business owner from the Isan area. 3, a beer bar manager from Pattaya, Soi 13. And lastly, a freelancer operating out of Pattaya. Each lady was fun to talk with and get to know a little bit over the line app once we moved off Thai Friendly. There were regular video calls with the beer bar manager and the freelancer. The caddy and the salon boss would only text but did so regularly. Regardless, I kept an open mind and I wanted to meet each one of them in person. Unfortunately, the freelancer asked for money within the first week of video calls, which I saw as a red flag and lowered my expectations of any sort of lasting communications between the two of us. I told her I do not send money but that if she waited until we met, I would make sure to give her something, as I understand this, how she makes her money. Okay, now it's finally September 2019, and we make the 19-hour flight on China Air with a stopover in Wuhan, China, without major incident. This was just before COVID struck. We landed at the airport in Bangkok at the ungodly hour of 4 a.m. local time. Our transportation was waiting at door number 3. With a large bouquet of dried flowers, which she handed to Charlie as I was taking a detour to the nearest bathroom. After a much needed pit stop, I joined them. As I approached, I saw Charlie hand her back the flowers as he leaned in and said something to her. She nodded, then turned to me with a bright smile, held them out to me, her arms open wide, and said, "Welcome to Thailand." This seemed sort of overly staged. Charlie seemed like he was in on whatever this was all about, but hey, let's just go with it. I took the flowers and a nice big hug from the driver. The drive from Bangkok to Pattaya was uneventful. We chatted with our driver named Milk and marveled between each other that we were now on the opposite side of the earth from home. The plan was that we would check in, put our luggage onto the shiny floor condo rooms, and after a quick shower, Milk would take us to a late night club called Flex. View Talley 6 is located between Beach Road and Second Road, next door to the Hilton and Central Mall. Milk met us in the lobby and we exited a back gate onto the beach road. We then hopped onto a BART bus and rode over to the iconic Walking Street sign, just like in the YouTube videos. Because it was so late, early, mostly everything was closed, but I remember seeing lots of neon signs. We walked past a group of freelancers and other bystanders. We kept our heads on swivel as we turned down darker alleys and finally approached the club. After a quick search by security, we bounded up the stairs to a packed club with loud music. The plan was that we would get a VIP table, order a bottle with mixers, and see if all the stories and videos were true. I took about 6 steps and boom, there stood a slender but curvy girl wearing a full-body catsuit. Our driver Milk introduced her sister named Beer, who immediately locked eyes with me as we shook hands, the handshake morphing into a hug. My sleep-deprived brain switched into party mode as visions of catsuits danced in my head. Unfortunately, the dancing visions did not last for long, but allowed me to progress the story. Introductions made, we began making our way over to the far side of the club through the packed masses, dancing, standing, milling about, when out of the crowd, boom boom, out steps the freelancer I had met on Thai Friendly, the one who had asked me for money before we'd even met face to face. She stepped out with her arms folded and childlike pout on her face. I assumed she had ascertained the situation as Charlie with Milk and Beer with me. My brain went into overdrive at the realization of who she was. I know I didn't owe her anything, but I'm not the type that would just walk past without saying anything. Freelancer Nat was wearing a standard uniform of jeans shorts with animal print top, looking quite nice in them, but the expression on her face made it easy to choose my next move. I stepped up to her with a big smile and shocked look and said hello and gave her a hug. The music was really loud, which made it difficult to talk, but also easier to finish the quick conversation. I said I had not expected to meet up with her now. She asked once again, when did I want to see her? So I answered once again that I would call her, and I slipped her a 500 baht note. Nat said okay. She might have smiled, I'm not sure, but I felt her relax a little as I released her hug. The money was not a big deal, and I knew that I did not want to start the trip with a girl who was that money fixated. Catch and release accomplished. Achievement unlocked. I headed over to catch up with my group and that catsuit, Meow. As I mentioned previously, the club was packed. The 3 tables that made up the VIP section were filled with around 15 to 20 loud servicemen. I assume as they were all young, fit, energetic guys. My group had settled to the left of the velvet ropes in the smoking section, which was the only table available in the area. My buddy Charlie and I took the seats along the wall. Milk grabbed a waitress and asked what I would order. Charlie is a total tea drinker, so began mumbling, so I asked if they could bring us a bottle of Absolute vodka and either cranberry or orange juice. Milk threw up her hand to give me a high five and made the order, which came shortly afterwards. Cat-suited Beer was dancing alone off the side near the VIP rope as one of the loud guys leaned over from inside the ropes to talk with her. She rolled her eyes at whatever was said and then began to focus her attention on me. I beckoned for her and held up my drink. Milk immediately lit up with that 100-watt smile and began dancing in my direction. She had long, straight black hair that flipped around with each high energy step. Her light brown skin and dark red lipstick contrast perfectly. Her slim but curvy frame was displaying some of the best moves I had seen in years. This girl was so full of energy, I was not sure where the night would go, but I was keen to find out. We all had a welcome to Thailand toast together. Charlie and I looked at each other and nodded as if to say, yeah, this is going to be a night to remember. We are drinking, speaking, and communicating with signs to each other as I found that Beer spoke little English. Not a problem. She hopped into my lap and began grinding on me. Communication received. A little earlier, Charlie had excused himself and headed back to view Tale 6. He whispered to me that he had seen a freelancer on Walking Street that he wanted to go search for. Charlie can be an odd sort of guy at times. He doesn't drink alcohol or smoke and is not exactly the life of the party, but has an incredible sense of humor and can tell really good stories from his travels and experiences. He is good at stumbling in and out of trouble, mostly into. We had already paid Milk for the ride from Bangkok. Later, we found out that she had cheated us because she charged 1,200 baht each. I guess dried flowers are not cheap. So Charlie made his excuses and headed out. That left Milk, Beer, and myself, which was okay by me, but probably not the wisest thing to do. Wingmen should not leave the formation. By this time, it was around 7 a.m. A little more than half the Absolute was gone. The orange juice was so sweet that I had stopped adding it to my ice and vodka. Beer hopped up for another romp to my right, seated at the next table along the bench was a couple making out. Just then, the guy who had been trying to talk to Catsuit came walking past Beer as she danced by our table. He fell into step with her dance, looking like John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John in the movie Grease. She saw him stepping up behind her, and so he made a quick spin move and then ran around the table to me, sat on my lap and said loudly, I go with you. This guy was tall and muscular, at least half my age, who had at least a whole head in height over my 6 feet. I am a large guy, but I'm old and fat and in no shape to battle with fists or dance moves. The guy leans over the table, held out his hand, giving me a soul brother shake, and Andy, you got this, bro, with an index finger, point to me at the end. Yeah, definitely, John Travolta. I had to look around like, where is the camera? I am being punked? In what world did I get the girl? But after a little thought, I came to the conclusion that cash is, of course, the motivating factor, and cash is king in Thailand, of course. Mr. Muscles, aka John Travolta, probably expected a free night's romp of passion, while I was paying customer past my prime that would probably not have the stamina of this Italian stallion. Luckily for me, Beer chose the paying easy job. Makes sense, Milk is grinning and watching the whole scene play out. Figuring I had probably tempted fate enough for one night, I say to the girls, let's go. Milk explained that because we did not finish the bottle, that the staff would give us a ticket to present when I returned that would entitle me to roughly half the bottle of vodka. I did not have any plans to return, but said, okay, great. It was full light outside as we descended the steps stairs back down to the street, Beer and Milk in tow. We made our way back to Walking Street, which did not look very glamorous with its trash-strewn streets, but I hardly noticed. My manga mind was exploring the possibilities of what might occur soon. After the BART bus ride, we climbed the steep driveway up the entrance of the condo. Everyone paused. Beer grabbed my arm and said, I go with you. I handed the bottle ticket from the club along with a 500 baht note to Milk. She put her hands together and up to her face and bowed her head to me in thanks. She then hugged Beer, said a few words in Thai, and headed towards the parking structure around the side of the building. Now it's just Beer, her catsuit, and me. We walked down the echoing halls, past closed massage shops, laundry shops, and real estate offices that line both sides of the interior ground floor of the condo building. Next to the elevators was a full guard station with monitors showing CCTV of the different floors. Everything looked legit, The guard at the desk stopped Beer and got her ID, which was in the small clutch purse she held. He then walked around the desk and rang the lift for us. We were the only guests out and about as it was so early in the morning. The doors opened immediately, but I was so excited and exhausted and tipsy that it still seemed to take forever. After a short walk down the hall, we both entered the room. She grabbed the keys, attached plastic card, and slipped it into the power slot on the wall, lighting up the room. We both kicked off our shoes and she continued to strip down while I went to see if there was anything stocked in the small fridge. There wasn't. Beer darted past me, fully nude, and ducked into the bathroom where I soon heard the shower water running. I took the time to stash the remainder of my cash into the safe along with my cell phone and watch. She emerged squeaky clean, hair dripping, and immediately said, "You go now." I answered, "Yes, boss." She laughed. The less than steamy, lukewarm water sort of helped wake me up as the conquest had been won and everything was now safe and in order. The aerobic session was great. By her response, we both enjoyed ourselves and we were both spent by the end. Sleep swarmed over my eyes. My hearing had already abandoned me. We both slept immediately. A few hours later, I woke to the muffled sound of my phone alarm ringing from within my safe. While I fumbled with the keypad, Beer had already jumped up, headed into the shower, clothes in hand. She emerged fully dressed, looking just as good as the night before. Hands on her hips, she said, "Give me money for taxi." Straight to the point, no problem, I tell her. Okay. I had the safe open, silencing my phone, so I held out to her the remaining cash which I had, which was approximately 2,300 baht. She opened the clutch bag and looked away as I dropped it in. She had a large smile on her face. She grabbed my shoulder, standing on her tiptoes, and gave me a kiss on the cheek. We had already exchanged line IDs, so she tiptoed danced out of my room. Beer is a true professional, I thought to myself, as I watched the back of her catsuit recede down the hall. Thailand rocks. I saw Beer again on the next return trip 3 months later in December 2019. On the last day of the visit, she told me it was her birthday and showed me a photo of a purse she wanted and told me that it would cost 5,000 baht. We were on our second day of fun, so I obliged. She hit me up for more money again after I returned home, saying she needed a scooter, but that was not on the cards for her, at least not from me. I sent her 2,000 baht by TransferWise. She said it wasn't enough. I told her that is all she was going to get from me. I wouldn't be sending her any more money for her new scooter. She sent a few photos of her walking in the rain. I sent laughing emojis. Beer saw that I was not so easy to get money from, but we still would occasionally video chat or at least send a hello text with a photo. I only want to keep things friendly and professional with her for obvious reasons. She made it easy by usually greeting me with her trademark, "Give me money," text, and I reply, "Okay," but I either don't send anything or maybe send 1,500 baht. Once after a request from her and no response from me, I told her I only want to be with her as a friend. She answered no. Then she said in a follow-up text, "Sugar daddy." I had a really good laugh at that response. If I was a sugar daddy, she must have full-on type 2 diabetes because I was definitely sugar-free sweetener. After COVID, we recently reconnected roughly 2 years later. She sent a photo of a little boy instead of her usual selfie. I asked, "Who is this?" She said, "Your baby." I sort of thought that would be her response, but I knew it was not my kid. Well, at least I did not think so. I had been really careful. She sees lots of guys because I see them liking her photos, etc. I am staring at the photo of this adorable little curly haired guy looking for a feature, the nose, the eyes. She waited just long enough for me to get wound up together with all these thoughts that were racing through my mind. Then she texts again, "I joking, you not papa." I breathed an audible sigh of relief and sent a devil emoji, then asked her why she did not tell me before she had a baby. The cute little kid in the photo had to be about 2 years old. The timing was close, but I was certain that she would have hit me up long before with "Give me more money." Beer said she know we only friends and thought I would be sad if I see she have baby with someone else. I told her, of course not. I'm very happy for her and hope good fortune for her and her son. Now the running joke between us is I will tell her I want a baby, give me baby. She always texts back, okay, but she doesn't. This was just the first few hours of the first day of my first trip to Thailand. I will send more stories soon. Well, I hope he does. That was quite a nice story, wasn't it? But when you dig into that story, there were two. She was a real professional. I mean, she came out with all the, the typical Thai bar girl stories. She needs a scooter. She needs money for this. She needs money for that. But the guy had a great attitude. He's got that vacation attitude. He was friends. He stayed friends with her. He didn't get caught up in the lies. She knew he wasn't a mug. He wasn't a fool. So she laughed it off and kind of, it's her job. That's what she does. He didn't fall for it, and they're the best of friends. And that's the best way to be, guys. With these girls, you laugh it off, and they'll respect you a lot more than plowing money into them. On the other side, though, I'd just like to say that I do know a number of guys who do regularly send cash to girls, and especially through COVID. And they're not idiots. They're not mugs. They haven't been scammed. When you come out here regularly, you can make friends with certain bar girls who are not your girlfriends. It's not serious, nothing like that. But you go to the same bar, you have a drink every night, and there's certain girls that are they're very nice to talk to. They're cute. You play games with them, and you'll always buy them a drink when you go to that bar. And of course, when they hit hard times, you consider them a friend, and you might want to send them a couple of thousand baht. As I say, you're not being foolish. It's not a scam. I know lots and lots of guys who do this, and the reason is they purely want to help the girl, or sometimes when they're not having problems, they'll just send them a couple of thousand baht and say, buy yourself something nice, go out for a nice meal or something like that. And that's all it is. And personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's all done in good spirit, isn't it? Okay, let's get into story number 2. And this is a little bit different, and I'll explain why at the end. I started taking an interest in your channel by accident around 6 months ago when in Bangkok on a business trip, and I became fascinated at the problems encountered by Farang who come to Thailand looking to relax, unwind, or even find love. I thought, why not? So I'm happy to share my story with you. I realized, having heard you and having read about Farang and adventures in Thailand's fun hotspots, things don't always end happily. Here we go. Having been married for 25 years, I was the wrong side of 50 and facing divorce in the UK. The spark had gone, and my parting from my ex-wife was friendly but expensive. I am fortunate that I work for an international company, have a good job, good income, and I'm a long way from retirement at the moment. An opportunity came along to spend time in our Singapore and Bangkok offices around 4.5 years ago. Having visited both countries in 1993 on my honeymoon, I thought, why not? It's a long way from home, but I'm working, so the cultural experience with colleagues in those offices will be invaluable. A change is as good as a rest, and as work would be paid, it seemed a no-brainer to clear my head. So in 2018, I spent 3 months, the first in Singapore, the second two in Bangkok, working and building client relationships and doing all I could to be a culture vulture on my evenings off and weekends. The staff in both locations were great, encouraging me to socialize and making sure I was treated like a local, learning all of the inexpensive ways to live and eat, travel and talk and bond with them as colleagues. I enjoyed Singapore a lot, but Bangkok blew me away. In April 2018, the team were working on a refurbishment project for a major international school, and I was asked to pitch in as I have some skills from the UK that were necessary. That project took me to Royet and Khon Kaen. I spent 2 years, very productive and quite uninspiring, long days up there, working hard, a few drinks in the evening, and generally being a good boy. I had no desire to look for or find an Asian woman, let alone a Thai girl, thinking I'm too old. I don't want any hassle, and most were stereotypically like bar girls. I know that's shallow, but I just hadn't given any deeper thought. In week 2 in Khon Kaen, I noticed a teacher in the school who had been very accommodating in helping my team with gain access. The school day is long there, the classes are quite intense for the children, so we were very much in the way at certain times. She, however, was always helpful, spoke beautiful Thai, and when addressing me, extremely good in English. We got talking beyond the general hellos and good mornings and mentioned that many of my colleagues were Thai and we were not local. They're all based in Bangkok. I asked for tips on where to eat, bars and local sites, etc. She said she did not drink, but gave some recommendations and directions for a street market where her family had a noodle store. A day or so later, I visited the market with a group of colleagues, and she was there after teaching, helping her mum. She is very attractive and looked gorgeous in jeans and a t-shirt, and was surprised we actually went, but gave me a free portion of noodles, in brackets the Thai guys had to pay, and we got chatting. She was 14 years my junior. Her name was Nitya. She had never married and once had a Norwegian boyfriend for 2 years. Her only ever previous boyfriend, and that relationship had finished 5 years previously. I thought this was nonsense because she is super beautiful, but she insisted it's true. She chose teaching mathematics over relationships after him. She was coy about why it finished, but she said that after him, she didn't trust foreign men, and having no interest in Thai men, had been single ever since. She assured me Thai men were serial cheaters and had very low opinion of them in general. She also said that Farang who visited Thailand were normally either backpackers or pay for play tourists, and that it was surprising to see one who was neither. I was shocked thinking she's 36, has had one boyfriend and is so gorgeous. Well, you know what happened next. I told her I was single, would love to take her for a proper meal and learn all about her. We exchanged numbers and I could tell she was extremely shy, but she didn't say yes and she didn't say no. An hour or so later, I was back in the hotel and my phone went ping. I had a WhatsApp friend request. We started messaging and I went back to Bangkok. The messaging continued, and after 3 or 4 days, she said that she would like to come to Bangkok before I went back to England because she had a cousin living there. She would fly down and stay with her cousin for a few days and meet me. I agreed, and the following week she took a few days off. She worked 6 days per week and told me that she had to pay other teachers to cover her work while she was in Bangkok. She also said the flight was not cheap. I was well aware of the stories about Farang in Thailand and their experience, granted mostly with bar girls, but I understand Thai culture, the need to support family, in brackets, or is it to extort Farang? The low salaries, even for professional people in the provinces, so immediately I thought, here we go, a typical Thai girl. She sees a Farang and is immediately onto him with a sob story about money. I thought she's going to ask me to pay to cover her losses. I was wrong. The saying goes, never judge a book by its cover. The only similarities she had to the stereotype are she is Thai, a girl, and very attractive. Nothing else. Work had me in a lovely hotel in Sukhumvit, close to the office in Asok, and we agreed we would meet at my hotel reception at 6:30 p.m. one evening. We would go out for dinner and that her cousin would pick her up at 11 p.m. She arrived on time looking stunning, smartly dressed for dinner, looking $1 million and not underdressed. She looked perfect. She said, I know a place that's inexpensive, not too far, and serves lovely Thai food. It was the venue for her cousin's birthday party for the family. We went, had a great dinner, under 800 baht for two people, wonderful Thai food, and we got to know each other a lot better. We agreed to meet the following night. She let me hold her hand, and just as her cousin collected her, I was given a peck on the cheek. At this moment, I thought she's a lovely girl, is impeccable in her manners, and is so beautiful and perfect in every way, but I am 14 years older and English, and this will just not work. It's doomed on every level. I have read and heard so many horror stories, and the best thing to do would be to say, let's just stop it all now. I'm almost 6,000 miles away in a week's time, and all things considered, I'm almost old enough to be her father. I didn't stop, and she did meet me the next night. She came to the hotel with her cousin who dropped her off again, on time and looking beautiful once again. This time she had a small overnight bag. We had some street food, crispy pork, which is now our favourite meal, and retired early. I will leave the rest up to your imagination. Can I say repeated passionate aerobics, and then we lay and talked and talked. The following day she stayed with me in the hotel. I had to work but managed to make an excuse to leave early, and we lay by the pool in the afternoon. She doesn't drink, so several smoothies and a few snacks later, we spent another evening in each other's company. What is one Norwegian's loss is an Englishman's gain. In the morning, her cousin collected her and she went back to Khon Kaen. From there on, our relationship grew and grew using FaceTime, WhatsApp call, and video calls. I visited her twice and spent as much time as I could with her, not impacting my work. We were messaging a lot when I was back in England. COVID really did put a strain on our connection. I got to visit and she managed one visit to England for 2 weeks before lockdown. I visited through test and go and always making sure I could stay and work in Bangkok and have spent time with Nitya and her family in Khon Kaen. They are good people and have asked for nothing from me. They have shown extreme kindness and seem so happy that she is extremely happy after hiding from men for so long. Granted, so far I've had to eat every spicy concoction known to man. Have stared cooked chicken feet in the eye and thought no, but said yes, just to keep her happy. But we have never ever argued. I speak to her and it makes me smile. She got such a pleasant outlook on life. I wish I'd met her 20 years ago. Since April, it's been clear we are going from strength to strength and are now talking about a life that will see me spending more time with her in Khon Kaen working remotely from Bangkok. She has started advanced English so that her mathematics teaching work will eventually be transferable to England and we will soon be parents. She is now expecting our first child, the treasured daughter I've always wanted. Her family are excited as me, but this means at some point very soon I might, in brackets, or rather we will, according to her mother, have to make an honest woman of her, as in Thai culture historically, single motherhood is a no-no. I have not had to feed or fund her extended family. The buffalo has never been sick. The pet chickens are all in good health and mum does not need an operation. I am living proof that if you find the right Thai woman when you least expect it, then you might just get a pleasant surprise. They are not all bad. In fact, some are incredible people with wonderful standards and values. Here we are, 4 years after randomly meeting. I have never been happier, never imagined I would find someone so aligned with me, and having heard so many shocking stories, seem to be on track for the happy ever ending we all want. Okay, so what a wonderful story. So, he's met this teacher and it's all working out good. But I just want to emphasize one point, guys. There is a big difference between meeting a girl in a bar, a go-go club, or a massage parlor, as opposing to meeting a regular girl like a teacher. Now, that's not to say that some regular girls are not a little bit naughty at times, because they can be. I've seen guys experience terrible things. But generally speaking, the line he came up with there, let me just go back and reiterate on this. Something like, they are not all bad. In fact, some are incredible people. Well, what you'll find is most of them are incredible people. And even the naughty girls, like the bar girls and the go-go dancers, they're incredible people as well, but they're working for a living. So they're not really marrying material, are they? If you just want to go out and have fun, fair enough. But if you're looking for a full-time girlfriend, you want to perhaps have a long-term relationship, look elsewhere. And be careful on the dating sites, guys. A lot of guys I've met will go on a dating site like Badoo, Thai Friendly, these sort of things, and they think if they find a girl on there, she's a saint. And you've got to remember, a lot of working girls and lady boys and all sorts will use those apps as another avenue to extract money from you, to sell themselves basically. You just got to be really, really careful. But as this guy said in the story, it is possible. A lot of nice Thais. And I've got friends here who are married to Thais and they're lovely, lovely women. Who knows? I'm coming out as a single man next year, early next year. Who knows? I might be reading my own story out one day. We'll see. Right. Let's crack on with the last story of the day, guys. This is one of the shortest stories I've ever read. But I'm going to read it anyway. The guy's from Australia. He sent it in, and let's just go with it and see what you think. I had never ever thought about a Thai lady, let alone a visit in Thailand. I'm an Australian. My background is I kept going to a Thai restaurant here in Australia and got chatty with a lady. And after a year of getting lunches, she went away for a couple of weeks, and I actually missed her. Anyway, when she came back, I asked her out, and we have been together for a year and 3 months. In brackets, she reminded me about that. She has had a hard life, but is a very hard worker. And when she comes to visit, she does everything for me. I'm in my 50s and she is in her 40s. She has never asked for anything. I decided to visit Thailand with her this year in September. She had not been back for about 5 years. I paid her way and we went for 3 weeks. We visited her family, and to see the respect that the people have for each other over there is something else. To see how family orientated they are is something that Western people could learn from. We stayed for a few nights in Bangkok, and after watching videos on YouTube about the land of smiles, it was amazing to actually experience Thailand for real. Sukhumvit Soi 4 was amazing, and the nightlife is ever changing. We met from people from all over the world and had a few drinks with some special people. Soi 7 food stalls were amazing, and I would definitely go back. This trip cost me a lot of money, but I am on a good salary and she works hard and sends her money back to her family. A trip in Australia would have cost twice as much. Coming back to Australia and watching YouTube again, I said to her, I actually miss the traffic noise, the people, the massage sir, the hawkers, shopping centres, the greetings at 7-Eleven stores, hello, welcome, and life in Bangkok. I have already put in for leave for February and March and will take her with me to visit Pattaya, Phuket, Chiang Mai, and wherever. I have met many more Thai people through her here, and they treat me like family. I have been married, had many lady partners, but this Thai lady will do anything for me, and this is a two-way respect for each other. I will pay for most things, and she actually gets annoyed if I keep paying for her. I think I found a beautiful lady from a beautiful country. So there you go. That's a very short story there. But it just goes to show you guys, you know, there are good women out there. And I think it's true to say a lot of guys who have found nice Thai ladies to hook up with, they will treat their guy really, really well. I mean, words. See, I'm lost for words already. But you ask any guy who's with a Thai, they treat the guy very, very well. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed those three stories. Again, no nice backgrounds because I'm in a hotel room in Pattaya until the end of the month. Hope the echo wasn't too bad. I'll be back next Saturday, more stories. I'll keep it going. I don't want to drop the stories. I hope you've enjoyed these, and I'll try and get 3 or 4 more up for you next Saturday. But for now, guys, that's it. Thanks for listening to me once again, and I'll catch up with you real, real soon.